Hi, it's Andy at Ninox Corporation. In this class, we're going to talk about how we can track serial numbers or uniquely identified or serialized pieces of inventory. Now, in a different inventory class, we talk about variations and options. This is an inventory feature that we use when we want to differentiate between different versions or different designs of a specific product. Serial numbers or serialization is a feature we use when each individual single unit of a product is unique. So where we might have sizes of a shirt, those are variations. But we also need to deal with the fact that we might have two absolutely identical pieces of inventory. Let's say we build automobiles and we have two identical vehicles, both of the blue variety, but they are unique and that they have different serial numbers or vehicle identification numbers. Let's go ahead into our inventory module, and we can see here that our raw materials, subassemblies, and finished goods are all configured, but some of them have this red dot. This red dot tells us that a particular raw material or subassembly is serialized. It's uniquely identified, the difference being the serial number or the unit ID number. The number in parentheses to the right of the description of a serialized item tells me how many of those items I have in stock. Now there is also this list here to the right of our finished good product catalog where we see every individual serial number for every uniquely identified or tagged product in our inventory. But let's look at serialized inventory. Here we see we have a drivetrain. A drivetrain is a subassembly consisting of four components: an engine, a rear differential, an automatic transmission, and a drive shaft. There are no variations or options for this specific subassembly. However, each drivetrain, each package or subassembly is going to have its own serial number, and we see those serial numbers right here in the bottom right-hand listing. And as we can see, both of these individual serialized drivetrains are currently in stock. Now, serial numbers or serialization and varieties and options both work together. Here we see an item that has no varieties but is serialized. Here we see an item, for example, we have that men's dress shirt where we have varieties but no serial numbers. We would not uniquely identify or tag each individual shirt. But there are cases where we're going to have an item that is both available in varieties and serialized. Let's look at this passenger automobile. The passenger automobile consists of all of these raw materials, and some of these raw materials may be subassemblies themselves. For example, this subassembly passenger automobile actually consists of four other subassemblies and two individual products. But what we want to discuss here are the fact that we have a variety of passenger automobiles that are differentiated by color, and this red dot tells me that each variety of this particular item, the passenger automobile, is serialized or uniquely tagged with an ID number. So let's go in and look at our variations, starting with the blue passenger automobiles. The number 2 tells me that I have two in stock. They have a unit cost of $3,847, and here we see the serial numbers for the two that we have. One is on hold, one is currently in stock. If I want to add another serial number or another item, in this case a blue passenger vehicle, I click on the serial number icon and click confirm. This will allow me to put in the new serial number and identify whether it's in stock, on hold, or currently unavailable, any notes about this item, and whether or not this item, as it stands alone as a subassembly, is going to be available in our sales catalog. This particular uniquely serialized blue passenger automobile may have its own cost and MSRP, and as each individual item stands alone, we can also track the date the item was sold, the name of the customer that we sold it to, and all of the information related to that particular item. Now, going back to setting up our serial numbers, you just saw me enter a serial number manually. One additional blue passenger automobile, SKU 0-1000-B, was added to inventory. I did that manually. Sometimes we need to add a large quantity of individually and uniquely serialized or tagged pieces of inventory. Let's go back to this drivetrain. We currently have 2 in stock. Let's say we want to add another 100 drivetrains into inventory. Now, we could enter each serial number one at a time, or we could use the automatic serialization option. I'm going to go to my serial number entry icon and click and confirm that I want to add a new serialized item for this particular subassembly, the drivetrain. I click confirm, and now I have the option of manual or automatic entry. Manual entry allows me to set up each item one at a time, manually entering each serial number. The automatic option allows me to enter a specific number of items, either in series or each one with a unique identifying serial number or ID number that's not necessarily in a defined series. If I used automatic series entry, I might say that I want to add 100 new items. The first serial number is 1001, and the next one is 1002 and 1003, all the way through 1100. That would give me 100 uniquely serialized pieces of inventory that were serialized or tagged in sequence. The other option would be automatic, where I simply type a comma-separated list of all 100 items, and then when I click the Go button, the system will automatically set up 100 new items, each one with one of the inventory item numbers or serial numbers that I defined in my list. The automatic option is a very good option to use when you've got to enter dozens, hundreds, or maybe even thousands of pieces of inventory. The manual option is fine if we just need to enter one new serialized piece of stock. The last thing I want to point out when talking about serialized or uniquely identified inventory is the SKU, the item number for each unique piece. Let's go back to that passenger automobile. We have 9 in stock, and here we can see the quantities: 3 blue, 1 red, 4 silver, and 1 black silver two-tone. The red dot tells me each one of them is uniquely identified with a serial number. The SKU for this particular item is 0-1000. The SKU for the silver variety of this passenger automobile is 0-1000-S. I added the S tag to indicate this is the silver variety, which differs from the red, the blue, and the two-tone. But within the silver, we have unique serial numbers. Watch what happens when I enter a newly serialized piece of inventory. I click the icon, I confirm, and I'm going to enter this one manually. When I enter the serial number, the system will automatically create the SKU. This tells me it's a 0-1000, which is a passenger automobile. The S tells me it's silver, and 4668 are the last 4 digits of the unique serial number. Serial numbers must be a minimum of 4 digits in length, and of course they must be unique. The important thing to note here is each serialized piece of inventory will have the SKU automatically defined according to a variety tag if they come in varieties, and with the suffix being the last four characters or digits of the serial number itself. And since each one of these pieces of inventory, whether it's a raw material or a subassembly, is unique and stands alone, you can track the status. Is it in stock? Is it currently on hold? Maybe it's tagged to go into production but hasn't been produced yet. Or maybe it's unavailable. This is particularly important when we sell a particular piece of serialized inventory. If I were to sell this silver passenger automobile with this particular vehicle identification number, when I prepare the sales invoice, it will automatically go to unavailable. The item will still remain in my inventory in case that vehicle were to come back for warranty. If I had to send a technician out to service that unique, specifically identified piece of inventory. Serialization is critical when you might have inventory where each piece is identical in its configuration, but unique according to its ID number. In our next class, we're going to talk about how to configure our finished goods and product catalog. I'll see you there.